Every year in the NFL, we have veterans doing everything that they can to get their team over the hump and into the big game with the hopes of hoisting the coveted Lombardi Trophy. Many veterans have hopped on championship contenders with the hopes of winning it all. But as we all know, not every veteran who joins a title contender will be able to get to a Super Bowl, let alone win one. Sure, some of these veterans have played in a Super Bowl before, but they haven't won one quite yet. And the clock is ticking. So today, we're going to look at 12 NFL stars entering the 2026 season who have one last chance to win a Super Bowl. David Njoku. After spending the majority of his career with the Cleveland Browns, Njoku signed a one-year $8 million deal with the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers have a much more potent offense than the Browns do, and a much more superior quarterback in Justin Herbert compared to Deshaun Watson, Shedeur Sanders, or Dylan Gabriel. Njoku played in 12 games for the Browns in 2025, catching 33 receptions for 293 yards and scoring 4 touchdowns, but he dealt with knee injuries during the season. Njoku has the potential to help the Bolts make a run in the playoffs, as he's on a one-year prove-it deal with a chance to rebound after an injury-riddled season, especially with offensive coordinator Mike McDaniel calling plays on the sidelines. Not to mention, playing for the Chargers could be Njoku's last chance to win a Super Bowl, as he's currently 30, a time when tight ends slowly lose their athletic burst. This season is a prime opportunity for Njoku to win while still performing at a physical peak capability. Stefon Diggs. Diggs recently signed a one-year $12 million deal with the Washington Commanders after helping the New England Patriots reach Super Bowl 60. Diggs caught 102 receptions for 1,013 yards and scored 4 touchdowns with the Patriots. And he now gives third-year quarterback Jaden Daniels another elusive offensive weapon to work with in 2026. However, Diggs will be 33 when the season concludes, and his average depth of target has fallen below 9 yards, as he relies on short to intermediate range volume rather than explosive field-stretching plays. During the 2025-2026 playoffs, Diggs averaged 27.5 yards per game and was held to 3 catches for 37 yards in Super Bowl 60. Joining the Commanders is likely Diggs' last chance to get back to a Super Bowl with a playoff-caliber roster, as he's on a prove-it deal with the franchise. On top of that, if Diggs struggles in the nation's capital, a Super Bowl contender may not want to sign him to a prominent role in 2027 or beyond. Demario Davis. At age 37, Davis is entering his 15th season in the league and is nearing the very end of his career. Playing at 37 years old is incredibly rare for a linebacker, and physical decline can happen very quickly. Davis is playing on a 2-year, $22 million deal with the Jets, as they're on another rebuild after spending 8 seasons with the New Orleans Saints. However, as mentioned earlier, the Jets roster is on a rebuild and is not a title contender with the guys that they currently have. Not to mention, the Jets haven't made the playoffs since 2010. Davis did have a career-high 143 tackles, and his elite physical play could help the team stay competitive for a playoff spot during the regular season. Davis has been remarkably durable throughout his NFL career, but he has missed 1 game due to a hamstring injury during the 2024 season. If the Jets have a rough 2026 season, they could trade Davis to a true title contender for a chance at reaching a Super Bowl and potentially winning it. Calais Campbell. Campbell has had an incredible 19-year career in the NFL, playing for the Arizona Cardinals, Jacksonville Jaguars, Baltimore Ravens, Atlanta Falcons, and Miami Dolphins over the years. And now, he finds himself back at the Ravens on a one-year deal. Campbell will be 40 when the regular season begins, as he's mentioned that the physical toll and extreme stress of preparing his body at the professional level means that this season with the Ravens will likely be his last. He joins a reloaded Ravens roster with a new coaching staff, including head coach Jesse Minter, who is the Chargers' defensive coordinator and will work with incredibly talented defensive players like Roquan Smith, Trey Hendrickson, and Nnamdi Madubuike in the team's pass rush. This Ravens team has a strong chance to win the AFC North and clinch a playoff spot if they can stay healthy for the long haul, as Campbell will serve as a mentor for younger talent to step up. When Campbell officially retires, he'll be enshrined in Canton for all that he's accomplished in the league. Nick Folk. Veteran kicker Nick Folk enters his 19th season in the NFL and will be 42 when the regular season concludes. Folk did consider retiring after his tenure with the New York Jets in the 2025 season, but he decided to return in 2026 and signed a 2-year deal with the Atlanta Falcons. In 2025, Folk made 28 out of 29 field goals with the Jets, and he still has a reliable leg. But he's never played in a Super Bowl before, and the chance to go to one and potentially help a team win it is closing rather quickly. The Falcons have a talented offense, but they have a very questionable quarterback situation between Tua Tagovailoa and Michael Penix Jr. competing for the starting job. Because of how weak the NFC South is, the Falcons have a fair shot at potentially winning the division and making the playoffs. But making a deep run is, well, maybe a little unrealistic. We'll just have to see how the season plays out for Folk and the Falcons, as I mean, hey, anything can happen during the season. Plus, you know what they say, Khalil Mack. Mack returns to the Chargers on a one-year, $18 million contract extension for the 2026 season. As time is now running out for the 2016 NFL Defensive Player of the Year to make a run for the Super Bowl, Mack is currently 35 years old. He's in the final stages of a legendary Hall of Fame career and has openly considered retirement in recent off-seasons. In 2025, Mack played in 12 games, had 32 tackles, 5.5 sacks, a safety, and 4 forced fumbles. And that was with him missing some time with a dislocated elbow during the season. Mack helped the Chargers reach the playoffs in 2025, but they're easily knocked out of the wildcard round by the New England Patriots 16-3. The Chargers are actively planning to prepare for a life without Mack, as they drafted Akeem Masiador, giving someone for Mack to mentor during the 2026 season. So, when Mack retires, Canton will welcome him with open arms for all that he's accomplished in this league. Derrick Henry. Henry may be one of the most physical marvels at running back who tries to defy Father Time. However, Father Time remains undefeated. And Henry, well, he's 32 years old, which is very old for a running back. The typical age cliff for most running backs is age 30. But Henry rushed for 1,595 yards on 307 attempts and scored 16 rushing touchdowns. Henry has not thought about retirement, as he continues to play at an elite level. However, this season could be Henry's last chance to win a Super Bowl, as the workload could potentially strain him. Not to mention, Henry faces a greater injury risk, along with the drop-off in production and speed during games. Henry signed a 2-year, $30 million contract extension with the Ravens in 2025 that keeps him with the team until the 2027 season. But the team's championship nucleus is under severe pressure, as they try to bounce back from a rough 8-9 season. With the coaching staff retooled and the potential of losing key defensive stars in the future, Henry will likely not have an opportunity like this again in the near future. Keenan Allen. 2026 is a very critical window for Allen, as he's now 34 and he signed a one-year deal with the Indianapolis Colts for the 2026 season. This is going to be Allen's 14th season in the league, as his physical window is nearly closing after spending the majority of his career with the San Diego/Los Angeles Chargers and one season with the Chicago Bears in 2024. Allen reunites with Shane Steichen, who was the Chargers' offensive coordinator in 2020 and should get some nice production out of him in 2026. As mentioned earlier, Allen is 34, and most wide receivers see a decline in their production in their late 20s and early 30s. Allen played in all 17 games for the Bolts, started in 3 of them, catching 81 receptions for 777 yards and scoring 4 touchdowns. Allen now joins a Colts team with a young passing attack consisting of Alec Pierce, Josh Downs, and second-year tight end Tyler Warren. This could be Allen's final chance to be a part of a team that has the potential to make a playoff run, as, well, he'll likely retire after the season, or after 2027, and wait for his proper enshrinement in Canton years later. David Montgomery. The 2026 season is Montgomery's next and potentially last chance to get to a Super Bowl, as he anchors the Texans' backfield, and he's currently 29, which is an age when running backs begin to show a decline in their production. After missing the playoffs with the Lions in 2025, Montgomery finds himself on a team that can potentially make a serious playoff run. However, Montgomery doesn't have Jahmyr Gibbs to split the workload with, meaning he'll be the main rusher for the Texans, even though they also have Woody Marks, Owen Wright, Jahar Jordan, and rookie Noah Whittington, who aren't exactly Pro Bowl caliber backs. If Marks starts to emerge in the Texans' offense, Montgomery could see a dip in his production and possibly become a cap casualty. On top of that, if Montgomery suffers injuries similar to Joe Mixon, it could spell disaster for a young Texans team looking to get past the hump and reach their first AFC Championship game. Hopefully, Montgomery is the final piece that the Texans need to make that solid playoff push when clinching a spot. Cameron Jordan. After the 2025 season and spending a few months as a free agent in the offseason, Jordan signed a one-year deal to return to the Saints, as this season will likely be his last in the league. Jordan is coming off a productive 2025 season where he played in all 17 games, had 47 tackles, 10.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, a fumble recovery, and 2 pass deflections. Which, hey, not too bad for a guy who is 36 and is currently 37. Jordan will anchor a Saints defense that is still rebuilding rather than sign with a title contender, showing his true loyalty to the organization. Despite the Saints showing some strides of life with Tyler Shuck on offense, they are nowhere near title contention, as the team is still rebuilding for the future. If the season goes south, the Saints should consider trading Jordan to a true title contender. You know, maybe the Denver Broncos or Seattle Seahawks, in a perfect scenario. a team that Jordan could walk off into the sunset with a Super Bowl win with. It would be incredible to see Jordan finish his career with a Super Bowl win and have that be the cherry on top of a Hall of Fame career. Davante Adams. 2026 could potentially be Adams' final chance at winning that coveted Super Bowl, as he's in the final year of his current contract with the Rams and the team has fully reloaded the defense for the championship run. Adams will be 34 when the regular season concludes, and his quarterback, reigning MVP Matthew Stafford, is 38, meaning they gotta stay healthy for the long haul and avoid suffering injuries in order to keep this team's championship window open. Adams will be an unrestricted free agent after the 2026 season, and teams rarely sign wide receivers in their mid-30s, as their speed, production, and durability definitely start to decline. Adams caught 60 receptions for 789 yards and scored a league-high 14 touchdowns in the 2025 season. But he's shown a steep decline in his yardage, relying more on veteran savvy to outpace physical regression. If the Rams win the Super Bowl, it would be well-deserved for Adams as a perfect way to end an incredible Hall of Fame career. Dante Fowler. Fowler's been in the league since 2015 and has signed a one-year deal with the defending Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks for the 2026 season, signaling that it may be his last chance to win a Super Bowl. Fowler will reunite with his former Dallas Cowboys teammate DeMarcus Lawrence and the dark side defense that is still playing at a championship caliber level. Fowler is currently 32 years old, and he isn't getting any younger, so his playing window is slowly closing shut. His production in 2025 saw a significant decline, as he went from having 39 tackles in 2024 to having 15 in 2025. He also went from having 10.5 sacks in 2024 to just 3 in 2025. Fowler should fit in nicely with the Seahawks defense and will work with guys like Lawrence, Derrick Hall, and Ernest Jones during the season, finally getting the chance to play with a serious contender again. So now, it's time to win it all for the first time in his career. But hey, what other stars are now in their last chance to win a Super Bowl this year? Are there any notable names that we may have missed here? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, then hey, clicking the like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea, because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.